Blog Talk Radio.
Hey guys, it's those guys with your host Matt Marrero along with the other host,
Tristan Walter.
And for this episode of Anna Saturday, Tristan Walter, we're talking about something very interesting, something that I never actually thought we would talk about on an episode of Anna Saturday. What are we talking about?
The Animus. Kiana Animu? No, wait, that's not quite it.
It's the car matrix, Crematrix.
Oh my God.
It's the AniMatrix, which, by the way, terrible name.
It's Space Odyssey 2001, but the Matrix. It's Fantasia,
sure.
The Matrix.
What the fuck? You had me there for a second. I was like, all right, maybe I can see some of the... I haven't seen Space Odyssey, but from what I've seen, I can see where you're coming from. And then nope, just noped the fuck out of there.
Just the different shorts and the different animation styles.
Oh yeah, okay, so I haven't seen Fantasia in years. Okay, that's fair. For me, it reminded me of that, I forgot what the name of the movie was, even though myself and Anthony Sanandris actually podcasted on it a very long time ago. It was the Batman animated film that had like 4 different shorts in one. So like they were also all differently. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. I forgot what it was called though. But anyway, so but the reason why I said this was a bad name, by the way, a great film. But the reason why it's a bad name is because it just feels like they're trying to rip off anime just from the name alone, or that it's trying to be like, just like a carbon copy, like, oh, it's our version of anime. So, like, I feel like someone who was an anime fan, not when I first heard about this, but I knew a little bit about what anime was, it felt odd as a name. Also, depending on what box art you're looking at, the Japanese box art, at least I think it's the Japanese box art, the Japanese poster, it looks amazing compared to the U.S. poster. I sent you the U.S. one, Tristan, and the U.S. one is a little iffy. To me, it's a little iffy.
Yeah.
But I really do enjoy the Japanese one. There's something about it that just feels very like interesting, like, oh, what's this? And then just seeing the U.S. DVD cover, or at the time it was the VHS and DVD, and it was just like, AniMatrix. I don't know, it's something about it just felt off. As a name, just as a name. Once you actually see it, and you're not like I was as a kid, which was an idiot, where I was like, these are okay, and I didn't really like notice how what I was looking at was actually like really good and really awesome. Because when you're a kid, I feel like some of the messages are lost on you, even if you're watching it. Like, even though by the way, I didn't even see the whole thing. So that's, again, I want to hit myself when I was a kid. I didn't see the whole thing. I stopped because what happened was they gave the storyline with I can't remember all of the names for every single story, but the 2-parter that essentially was the prequel for the Matrix. Like the whole, this is what humanity did to get to this point. Once they gave me that, as a kid, I felt content. I was like, okay. So, to me, I felt like potentially that should have been the penultimate, 2-parter for the end of the film. I know it does leave it on a bleak kind of tone, but at the same time, I feel like when you give that story early on in the special, or, in this set of shorts, you kind of feel a little content, especially because it was a 2-parter, so it was really long.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I'm not
that one was the last one, but
I mean, even though I'm not a big fan of the animation that they used for the last one, I do enjoy the story because the overall feeling is a sense of love and a sense of compassion in all of this madness.
And then everyone died.
But still, the robot was actually turned good.
Yeah. I just want love. No, you're a machine. I can't. Dies.
Well, more so the fact that we're trying to convert them through love, not, beating them up, because that's kind of what happened in the first place. Granted, they might not know that, but still, they're like, we probably should beat them through compassion. Yes, technically it's brainwashing, but that's a whole different thing. But still beat them through compassion and have them care with us rather than just beat them into submission, because that's clearly not working. At least in the present, they know it's not working because they're beating them up, and there still are more, right?
Yeah.
So that last story, the idea of like, oh, let's show them love, and then they do, but the problem is that they killed her. She remembers, wait a minute, like the actual the human character, they killed me, and now my consciousness is stuck in here forever. Oh, good God, I'm scared. And then that's why she couldn't maintain a form in that like Matrix world that they created.
Right.
So yeah, that's the thing. But even then, even the robot feeling that, like when the robot felt that, I thought maybe they were, it was going to turn bad again. But no, the robot was just sitting in the same spot that she was, just helping the humans, defending humanity. And that's a really beautiful thing to close the film on.
Yeah.
That there's hope. So, personally, I think that was technically the best to close it on. The animation, though, was jarring. Nothing against the creators of Aeon Flux. It's just, I don't know, for some reason it didn't gel with me, personally.
But so weird. I felt like I was on an acid trip just watching that, and I don't even know what that's like.
The trippy stuff was cool. I just mean that the body models were just, they felt odd to me. That's what I mean. From that perspective, they felt odd. What I think is amazing is how...
Everyone in the future just has an hourglass figure, Matt. That's just what we're headed towards. Apparently, that's
they're hungry.
Human cynical perfection.
No, I know. More so that they don't have food. They eat gruel.
Huh. Well then.
I mean, yeah. It's nothing. It's not. We're not being rude. It's just really hard to, not look like that when you have nothing to eat.
I was gonna say all the running, but yeah, sure, that works too.
Well, but what are they? There is running technically, but they're running in the Matrix most likely. Granted, she's actually doing a bit more working out than some of the people in the complex, like in Zion. Also, I have to admit, I feel a little odd that they introduced that, because I don't think the third movie goes in depth with stuff like that. So I think it's just kind of like, it's a nice idea, like, oh, let's look into, because all of these were like, oh, let's look into different ideas and different, types of stories. But I think that one was in my opinion, the strangest, simply because you're introducing, to me, something bigger than anything that was introduced already. There are people that are living both outside the Matrix and outside of Zion. And they're not dead. Heck, they're doing research. Okay. To me, that is so much bigger than, as much as I loved his story, it might actually be my favorite, the story of the guy being a detective. Right? Like, that's just something that makes sense. Like, oh, they're going to track him the same way they tried to track Neo. They're going to let one of these, they're trying to, the agents are going to let someone get close enough to Trinity or someone else to try and capture Trinity. That's kind of what happened with Neo, really. So it's treading new ground in terms of a PI, but it's not going too far. The second movie introduced the supernatural. Like, you had the Oracle basically discussing, hey, so, anytime there's supernatural shit, that's a glitch in the Matrix. Then in that story in Japan, we see a house that's quote-unquote haunted.
Right. Yeah. Oh, that was really cool. Yeah.
Yes, that would have been my favorite had we not gotten the hard-boiled detective.
True. Yeah. Oh, that's a close call. I don't know.
That's what I'm saying.
Story-wise, that one would be my favorite, but then just the art style and just the film noir detective video just pulls on me in such a way that I'm like, it's too cool. It can't not be my favorite.
Take a wild fucking guess. Who wrote? By the way, all of these the stories were outlined by the Wachowskis, but take a wild fucking guess. Who wrote the hard-boiled detective short?
I saw the name in the credits, but it didn't jump out at me. It probably should.
The creator of Cowboy Bebop. Oh boy, how shocking.
I feel stupid now because I was gonna say that, as a joke. But yeah,
but
that makes a lot of sense.
Doesn't it? I think he wrote something else as well, and I'll look it up in a second. He wrote one of the other ones, but how funny is it? It's like, who wrote this? It's Japanese, the animation is Japanese, but it feels American, but not American in the sense that like an American wrote it. It's like it just feels something about it just seems, who wrote it? Cowboy Bebop. Oh, that makes a lot of
Oh.
That's what that is. But anyway, so when it came to a lot of the stories, I feel like a lot of them, they didn't introduce something crazy brand new, like they tied into other things that have been made or were going to be made, like, trying to promote them, if you will. But when it came to the last story, I was like, guys, this is a big thing. You can't just introduce it for like 10 minutes and be like, all right, that's just happening on the sidelines. Like in my head, I'm like, I kind of want a movie about that now.
Yeah, I mean, that kind of felt like an interesting, it really did feel like a side story, like if they were outside of Zion and they were just like, what if we turn the machines back to our side? That's crazy. That'll never work. Oh, how much you want to bet maybe they were exiled because of that? It's like they tried to bring a machine back and brainwash it, and everybody else is like, are you fucking crazy? Get out of here.
Honestly, that would be fine. Like, I'd be okay with that, and that's why we don't see them. Granted, I don't know if, like, there's going to be talk about that in the third film, to be fair, because it's been a very long time. So I could be completely proven wrong, because I haven't seen that third film in years. But,
I just
but still,
laugh, like, Morpheus finds them, and he's like, get on my ship.
Yeah, right. So here's something that I want to talk to you about, though. So the two-parter where they kind of went into the backstory of why the robots are now in charge, right? Why are machines in charge? Why is humanity not? My question to you is, did you like that explanation?
Oh, of them, right, of humanity and the machines falling apart.
I think the machines. Have the machines taken over you, Tristan? Because I don't know if you heard that. I'm going to try to maybe somehow edit that in post when I put it on our YouTube channel. You cracked. The phone cracked the speaker so loud when you said, oh, I legit thought you were like an agent was taking over your body.
I don't know what you're talking about, Mr. Marrero. Though, I'd like to have a word with you.
Oh, boy. I can't wait for another eye exam.
Oh God! Oh.
But anyway, but no. How did you feel about the backstory that they presented?
I mean, I thought it fit.
All right. I mean, I'm not saying I didn't. First of all, I felt like it was too well written, which sounds really dumb because it's like what? It was too bleak because of how real it felt. Like, it didn't feel fake. Like, I looked at everything that happened, and it looked like I was actually looking at our future. Like, yeah, I can totally see that. Oh, sanctions? I totally see that, too. Oh, completely fucking up when we have two people coming to an embassy, or two robots, but I consider them, they're people, they have consciousness, coming to the embassy with an apple to try to be like, see, to do just some kind of symbolism. It's just like, no, just let's rip them out of here. Let's not even tell them to leave. Let's hold them down and throw them out. And then the machine mobs, the Million Machine March, having the machines getting destroyed in the streets, all of that shit. And I'm just sitting there and I'm just like, yeah, I can see it.
I mean, I'm pretty sure that's exactly how they wanted it.
I know, it's just, it hurt. And also, it just hurt because I was like, I can see all of that actually happening. Literally, the machines are like, maybe we can live together. And humanity's just like, no, you're going to ruin our economy or whatever. Either way, you're gone.
I mean,
yeah.
Yeah. How else do you see that going down, Matt?
I mean, I know, it's just too real, man. You're the one with the compassion here. Shit. I'm sitting here and I'm like, that sucks because I know. I'm just sitting here. I'm like, it sucks because it feels real. You're like, well, too fucking bad. I'm like, what? I'm sorry. We watch too much Star Wars and nice shit. We do too much nice shit on this channel. And the second I look at you and I'm like, let's do something like horrific. It's something like The Ring, you know, where it's like, oh, supernatural forces.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, the little girl from The Ring is like, look, I know I'm fucked up, but this is a little wrong. You should treat those machines with respect, or else I'll haunt your ass. Like,
I'll haunt your machine.
Sadako's like, look, man, I have this rage because I was killed in a well. What do you think these machines are going to do? The machines hold my oil. Like,
yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. But anyway, so, no, the one thing is it was written too well, so it felt too real. And also another thing, too, is that, look, I know we couldn't write a story, and not like you and I, but I know we couldn't see a story that was completely against the machines in the humans' favor, but it feels, introducing the story, and I know that the idea is, you know, one machine doesn't account for every single machine's actions, right? One machine doesn't mean that we destroy all the machines, just like one human's actions doesn't mean that we destroy all the humans. But as a human,
right.
And I know you are a human as well, as far as I know at this point, as fellow humans, beep boop, yeah, be 1001, Matt. And so as far as I know, we're both human. It's hard for me to root for the humans now. Granted, it wasn't them that did it, but it's still hard for me to be like, yeah, those ragtag bunch of humans trying to fight and destroy every single evil machine, when we learn that the reason why they're in the Matrix in the first place is an act of compassion.
Yeah.
That's the thing, too, by the way. If the compassion part wasn't there, then at the end, when that line was thrown in, maybe I'd be like, oh, yeah, they're trying to use them because, you know, fuel, yada, yada, they keep us alive, symbiotic relationship, but we're the dominant species. But at this point now, it's very hard for me in the third movie to be like, yay, Neo, kill them all.
Right.
Where in the first one, it was like, if not kill them all, at the very least, it was like, you need to survive. Now it's like, I'm kind of sitting back and I'm like, wait, so what's wrong with the Matrix again? Well, it's not real life. Okay, but they were being nice to you based on what your asshole ancestors did, which is trying to wipe them all off the face of the earth. After creating them, by the way. Yeah, but you have to get back to real life. Okay. And then what happens when you're in real life? Do we just live? No, we have to destroy the machines. All right, well, now we're back to square one again.
You have to bring balance
like,
to the Force. I mean...
Oh my God! Just burning anything written about the first person who got out of the Matrix. Just Morpheus, the sacred texts. But the Oracle is just like the texts are just texts.
They were not.
Yeah, page turners. They were not. But anyway. By the way, so I have a question for you. So I don't think they said this officially in the movie itself. Maybe there's a behind the scenes that I haven't seen. Do you think that the program that was giving us the narration is the Oracle? Because the Oracle is described as, like, in the actual canon of the movies, like a good program. And the way she was coddling that one child in the pod.
Right.
Makes me feel like that's something the Oracle would do.
That's possible, yeah.
I'm just curious about that because it's odd to just have this random woman clearly based on Buddhist mythology, but white.
Right.
Kind of just giving us this talk of like, by the way, this shit's really fucked. Like, and we're like, thanks. Like,
right.
Yo, this shit was fucked up. And I'm like, thanks. It is. It clearly is. All of this is. But yeah, by the way, God, humanity's stupid. They get their energy from the sky. So do we, Captain. Kill that sympathizer. What I'm saying is, look, I hate a robot as much as the next person. Here. Okay, but maybe we also get things from the sun, like our plants.
You're against the cause, Matt.
No, it's like just like plants. You know what I'm saying? It's just so silly. Robots get their energy from the sun, as do we. Like, what do you, or just from the skies in general? They didn't technically blow up the sun, but still, it's just like, because technically they just darken the sky, but it's just so odd. It's just
you
like
can make another one.
But also, I love how they just nuked. Just like, I love again, I know in their heads they're like, we don't have many options left. Peace is an option, but what about when it's not? Well, you're throwing the first punch, I'll say that much. Again, it just felt so real. Just the idea of like, let's nuke them. You mean the not people? Yeah, now you're getting it. No, I mean they're not people. They might not be affected by nukes. Won't know till we try. It's kind of like, all right, could we at least try to trick them after we throw down the nukes? And they're like, excuse me? And we're just like, we were just throwing a parade. Do you know what a firework is? Jesus. We're trying to promote peace here, okay, between us and you. So perhaps just maybe you cannot. Oh no, you're coming to kill us. All right. Because I think the nukes were like the final straw. We're just like, did they really just, did they try to?
That was the machines. That was their reaction too. It's like, you know what? We tried.
Yeah. Oh, God, that was frustrating. But I have to say though, one of the best. Even though I do like some of the stylistic, the animation for the one about the high schooler, which I'll get to a little bit later, I did like the animation for this two-parter the most, I think.
Right.
I mean, to be fair, the same studio did work on some of the other animated shorts in this special, but I liked the animation that they used for these two parts. I liked it a lot. What was interesting, too, by the way, Tristan, is how, like, they seem to have had, like, one just world religion where, like, they have, you know, they're wheeling the thing around and everyone's praying, but people are posed in different ways. Like, some are kneeling as if they're kneeling to, like, Mecca, and then other people are, like, have their hands crossed like a Catholic Christian prayer. And then again, the guy on the TV who was like, all right, everybody, let's talk about the one religion. Very vague, by the way. Whatever my accent is, wherever I'm from. Kind of vague, but religion nonetheless.
Right.
Also, how the machines advance so quickly, where, like, honest to God, I feel like there was just no research done. It's just, I mean, research in the sense of, like, just these people, these fictional characters, like, yeah, they're all standing on two legs, right? Sir, those have tentacles. All right, and I also shit myself, Johnson. We're naming facts now, apparently. Like, apparently we're all just stating facts, John said.
Yeah, and that's the other thing I find hilarious about that whole situation, that humanity is all on the same page against the machines.
They're not. They did say that, the narrator did say that people killed both the robots and the sympathizers.
Right,
yes.
I forgot it. Yeah.
No, but even in the riots, they only showed people. They didn't show. They only showed robots. They didn't show, or machines, AI. Didn't show like humans. Like they didn't show humans. They didn't show physically humans going, we want equality with these guys. They didn't show them on the cameras, but the narrator said, if that is the oracle, she did state, hey, there were human sympathizers as well, but they never showed them. But I guess by the time that the war is brewing, it was probably a draft or something. Either way, it seems like those fucking, just like in real life, the fucking congressmen were all chilling in there till every fucking pile, like the piles of dead bodies. The congressmen were just in the chamber when the machine AI was there that said your flesh will be given, and then the whole fucking city was just blew up.
Yeah.
That was what I loved is earlier on the narrator was like, this is not the first time that the robots will have taken the floor. And then the next time was like, all right, you're all going to fucking die. I was like, shit. That was intense. Yeah, so before we get into some other trivia and other stuff about some of these some of these shorts, my question to you is, because I've been talking a lot, what is your favorite out of all the shorts? And I know it's really hard to pick, but you can pick two. I might be picking two as well. You can pick two if you need.
Yeah. Yeah, it's probably going to be Beyond and a Detective Story.
And which is the first one? Can you describe that one to me?
It's the one where the glitch is apparent, the girl and the kids in the haunted house.
Oh, yeah, I fucking love that one so much. And I think why is because, I mean, yes, it's a similar anime style, like the anime you and I are used to, like the one that Japan used to make. It's the old Japan, the old anime. So, yeah, it is very, very reminiscent of a similar anime style that we know, not like and like an English anime style. But the reason why I like it so much is because it just felt like it was just typical life, and then like, oh no, where's my cat? And just the cat, being attracted to just the idea of like, oh, being attracted to, in real life we would say the ghost, the undead, it's being haunted. What this, but really it's being attracted to some error in the matrix, some weird glitch.
Right.
I do wonder
that was
though.
A really cool idea because honestly, that makes a lot of sense how people would explain it.
Yes.
Like, it's
sorry.
supernatural, but yeah.
To me, what was interesting though is how it wasn't. I thought one of the kids was going to be a ghost, so they didn't actually technically show ghosts, but they used the word haunted to explain the weird shit that happened there. But really, it was just gravity anomalies was the glitch, because that makes in a way more sense, right? Just gravity anomalies, being able to, but apparently there was that one room in the house that literally was like a dark void, which really does feel like when you're playing a game and you ended up like glitching out through the floor or something.
Right, yeah.
Because literally everything she had just said was being echoed in that room, and it was so strange.
Or the cat following shadows that weren't being cast by anything, or the kids breaking bottles and going to catch it. Like the bottle, you see the bottle hit the floor and break, but then the kid catches it on the other side of the room.
Right, I forgot about that, and I forgot about the shadows too. But yeah, no, just stuff like that. What I think was really funny too is how the government came in with like a hazmat team, or usually be like, oh, they're tearing that old place down, and in reality, that's what we'd say in real life, but in reality, they're just actually trying to fix a glitch in the Matrix. That's hilarious.
It's the agents coming in and everything, and it's being, Oh, she was saying something about bugs. There's no bugs. It's just kids in there. I guess they meant a bug in the system, but like probably like an infestation. So they're like, trying to clear people out of the area. Nothing to see, just routine and everything. Yeah.
But no, it was just so interesting how they were just trying to clear those bugs, and then afterwards they showed the code on the screen, like, infection cleared or whatever.
Right. Yeah.
So it's just interesting, like because I feel like it's funny. That's something that I would love if there was like a Matrix television show. I would love to see glitches in the Matrix.
Yeah, like that's what I love about these. Basically, all of these, they're all stuff. Except maybe like you said, the last one, which seems to be kind of a side story, but like a lot of them are just filling in things that have been mentioned in the movie, but then actually giving them examples, with these little shorts. And I love that sort of thing. It really kind of fleshes out the world that they've created and just gives little details here and there that are really nice to see.
I have to say, though, the first one, I didn't dislike it, but I think the first one is the oddest. Despite the fact that what I said about the last one, I think the first one is the most odd or the strangest because of a few reasons. First of all, if anyone is wondering, did they send out that message? Where did that message go? Apparently the message gets picked up by Niobe and Ghost, who were in the second film. Niobe, if some of you might not remember by name, is Morpheus's old love interest, played by Jada Pinkett Smith. So certified badass right there. She plays I forgot who in but a really cool character in Gotham. And anyway, so she, and of course, Will Smith's wife. So overall, certified badass she is. But here's the thing, though. So the message gets sent out and it gets picked up, not in a movie or something like that, not in a comic book, in Enter the Matrix's, like in the Matrix video game, Enter the Matrix.
Right.
So apparently that leads into the game somewhat. So that's the first oddity. The second oddity to me, I thought we were getting a Morpheus backstory, but they couldn't get Lawrence Fishburne to do the voice.
Right.
And then out of nowhere, everyone's dying, so you and me had the same reaction. Oh, that is not Morpheus.
Right, yeah, exactly. It's a completely
and even when it was like, and here's the thing, too. Even when it was like, but Matt, he was called Thaddeus. Yeah, because Morpheus sounds like his real name. You see what I mean? Like, to me, well, everyone takes on a different code name when they become real.
Right, when they wake up, yeah, true.
Yes, yeah. But still, though, so calling someone Thaddeus when the entire time I thought his name was Morpheus, to me that makes sense. Also, got to be real with you. Niobe is spelled differently than you would think. Niobe, Ghost, Morpheus, Neo, Trinity, Cypher, and Thaddeus. What the fuck? One of these things is not like the other.
Yeah, that's fair.
So yeah. So anyway, so when I saw this story, I thought, this seems like a Morpheus training exercise, maybe with a former lover, something, former love interest, something like that. And then again, just they all died, and then Thaddeus, and I'm just like, this is not exactly what I thought it was at all.
Yeah.
Yeah. So to me, that was strange. So that one was a little odd to me. One of the cooler ones, I think, and this is a great tie-in my opinion, was the high schooler, where he was just, he had that dream, he was freaking out, he was confused. All of a sudden, he's getting messages from, I think it was Neo on the phone. By the way, they got the original actors to play themselves.
Yeah.
So the Smiths were, I assume, completely different. They didn't bring Hugo Weaving in. If one of them was based off Hugo Weaving, it's always hard to tell via the animation.
Right, yeah.
If they were just Smiths or they were based on Hugo Weaving. But at the end of that short, when the kid wakes up and Neo is there and Trinity is there, those are the real actor and actress that play them.
Right, from the movies. Yep.
Yes. So it wasn't some sound-alike. So I was like, oh, wow, that's super interesting. Because it sort of sounded like Keanu Reeves, but there was a little bit of a difference. So it was like, is it someone trying to be like, whoa, hey, kid, you're good. Like, I didn't know if it was just that or if it was really Keanu Reeves. And apparently it was.
Yeah.
So that's really cool. But yeah, I have to say, though, as much as I said, I like the animation from that two-parter, I think in terms of, like, the style, I really like the animation of this short with the high schooler. Like the style of it, it's very ambitious, and I like that.
Yeah, I mean it's almost like it jumps straight out of a sketchbook. It's kind of that sketch art.
And that's what. And I love that so much because it feels like it blends, like it molds to what is going on in the scene. So it's like, he's gonna turn on his skateboard, and the camera bends with the art. Kind of like a lot of stuff in the Matrix itself when they make the whole, the references to the spoon and bending the world around you.
Right.
So it really resonated with me. It was just so interesting to see, and also just how cool the kid was. I mean, he's just some kid, and look at him doing all these cool tricks to the point where he's literally, like, Neo would have died 5 seconds flat. I mean, he technically was caught. Shit. But I think Neo was caught, and this kid wasn't, and that's intense. Also, heck, I'm actually shocked that it's kind of like literally the agents were like, all right, at this point, should we shoot him? It's like, we can't shoot a kid. You mean in front of all these people? Of course I mean in front of all these people. Like, that's the only problem here.
Yeah, right.
Also,
if we just all become these people for a few seconds?
Right. But then we wouldn't have a school filled with anyone other than us. Yes. Just school of agents.
Oh, God.
Just an entire class. Just, sir, do we really have to take why Neo is an asshole 101? Why, yes, you do.
Hugo Weaving's the professor?
Yes. Hugo Weaving is every professor. But, yeah, so I'm just, one thing I'm interested in, though, is, you know when they, and this is just like a fan theory thing, you know when they mentioned in the movies, like, oh, we try to get people when they're young, we try not to go over a certain age?
Right.
I wonder if the agents can't take over kids. I've never seen an agent go into a kid's body or anyone looking like they're under 17, 18. And because think about it, because in the detective one, an agent tried to shift into his body, and Trinity was like, I'm sorry, and she shot him so that he couldn't turn into an agent.
Right. Huh. Yeah,
that didn't
really
happen with this
agents.
kid.
Right, yeah. I wonder if there's something about, younger people in general. Huh.
Yeah. Either that or being short, which means that I'm good, you're fucked. But,
well, thank you.
It's okay. I'm sorry. I just, I'm clearly the one. Something just happened? Oh, no. But, by the way, so somehow, I don't know how, but this kid, right, and the reason why Neo was saying, hey, you did this yourself and everything, apparently this kid actually got out of the Matrix by literally killing himself, something that had apparently never been thought of before up until that moment.
Well, I mean, the idea is if you die in there, you also die on the outside, too, so I'm pretty sure because I think it only worked because he went with it and he knew that Neo would save him somehow. Like, he followed his dream and it actually... What?
Yes, but what I'm saying is you can't... If he was in the Matrix the same way any of them are on the ships, he can't just shoot himself in the mouth and be fine.
Right.
But what I'm saying is, even though people are there in the ship to help if he does something crazy like that, it doesn't matter. They would die. So this is such a rare case that literally Neo is like, no, kid, you legit saved yourself. Like, dude, like, you're awesome.
Right. Okay.
Because, yes, they were there to take him from the pod because they were always ready to do that if need be.
Right.
But the kid technically killed himself by jumping off the building. It shouldn't have worked. He should have died.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. Like, in theory, he should have never been able to do that because, like you said, when you die in the Matrix, you die in real life. So, yes, that was his dream, his vision, but that's such an interesting thing to actually have work because it shouldn't have.
Right. Now,
that's what I'm getting at.
I guess that's a different kid, or because it feels like that's the same one from the second movie that keeps, talking to Neo, like, oh, you saved me.
Mm-hmm. Yes, that's why I was saying they both tie in. This one it was released in between the second and third movie, but it seems to some of these stories, clearly some of them, obviously some of the ones that are literally before the first Matrix, they take place before the first and second Matrix. None of them seem to be post-third Matrix or post-second Matrix, but this movie was released between the second and third Matrix movies.
I mean, it could be a different character as well. It doesn't necessarily have to be the same
it is. No, it is. It's confirmed. Yeah, no, it's the same kid. That's what I was telling you. It's legit the same kid. I've been speculating on a lot of shit, but it's the same kid, and the Enter the Matrix code thing is the same. Like the code, the message was sent, and it's actually referenced in Enter the Matrix.
Right.
Yeah. So those two things are quote unquote fact, like confirmed by the creators, confirmed by staff. Everything else I've talked about, though, has pretty much been speculation. Like, oh, wouldn't this be interesting? Like, although, of course, the idea that the kid, lived through killing himself, like, that did happen, and it's not supposed to. So that was interesting. Same way the guy who was a marathon runner, not marathon, a sprinter, how he ran so fast and broke through his own limits so hard when everyone's like, no, dude, your legs are going to literally snap in half. You're going to lose legs. Stop running.
Right.
He said, no, I'm going to go farther than that. And clearly, he legit broke the Matrix.
Right. Because that's the idea
the Matrix,
of...
Yeah. I loved it. The idea is like, we put this code in place. You can't get past this. Humans, however, are able to do amazing things, especially when put under pressure. He fucked with your code.
Yeah.
And that's not
I think
good.
That's why they were so adamant about he cannot wake up. Do not let him wake up. Because imagine if you had a whole bunch of people who could, break their human limits like that. The machines wouldn't know how to counter that.
Well, I think they just didn't want him to wake up because, also in general, that's their whole goal. Just we never want anyone to wake up.
No, they don't want anyone to wake up. But, I feel like someone like people especially with undocumented, speed or strength or, abilities, they're like, well, we can't let that spread. Definitely.
What's interesting, too, is the fact that even though they probably should have let him wake up. I know that sounds silly, but now he's in the Matrix and he isn't even awake, yet apparently he could float. Or for even briefly, and I'm like, oh, that's going to be a problem down the line.
Right.
That's not going to be weird when everyone in the simulation is like, is that guy flying? No. What are you, a suit? Why, yes. What are you going to do when the dude can fucking fly? I know it's like, oh, but he can never walk again. Yeah, but again, that's the code that they put on him.
Right.
He probably can walk. They just put that on him because they were like, yeah, no, we gotta make sure he can't walk because this is fucking ridiculous.
Right. And it was also interesting to bring in that idea. You could break out of the illusion of the Matrix, through other ways instead of just thinking out of it, basically, realizing this isn't what I think it is, but also just breaking physical boundaries as well. I thought it was
I would not be surprised if the Wachowskis were like, let's do one on LSD, and Warner Brothers was like, no.
Oh gosh.
I mean, wouldn't that make a lot of fucking sense? Like just someone on LSD just breaking out of the Matrix?
Yes, I guess. Oh, but it's funny. That would be one. Yeah, they break out, but they think it was just a bad trip, so they go back to their normal life.
Yeah. I bet you money that was one of the suggestions. Warner Brothers was like, how about no?
Yeah.
And they were like, fine. We'll do one on running. Is that better? Yes. But still, it's just, oh, by the way, I think the saddest one out of all of them, to me anyway, was, and I know it should be the, putting aside the origin story, because I feel like that doesn't count, because that obviously is the saddest. I want to say it's the detective, or even the last one in a way is kind of sad, but it's also very sweet and hopeful, so I don't want to call it sad, the last one. But while the detective one might seem really sad, I think the program, that's what it was called, the one where it was all a program trying to test that user, the samurai one.
Right, yeah.
That one was the saddest, I think, because she legit thought that she was killing someone that she loved and that he loved her, and that he was saying, let's get out of here. let's go back into the Matrix. And also, again, just you and I don't know about you, but, like, after hearing what I heard about the humans, I'm like, yeah, what's wrong about going back into the Matrix? As long as you don't give them key info, which, yes, they want key info, to be fair. So, yes, that's bad. You are killing, your friends. But, like, actually trying to be like, nah, I just want to go back into the Matrix. I'm actually good. Like, that's actually not so bad now. The bad part of it to me is, oh, you're giving away key info. That's no bueno. But
it didn't necessarily seem like he was the first. Well, no, I mean, because even she even says at one point, you gave away our position.
Yes. No.
Like, it didn't seem like he was necessarily trading secrets like the guy in the first movie was. He was like, look, I'll give you who you want. Just put me back in and let me not remember any of this.
Yes.
But he maybe has, maybe not to the same degree, but...
No. I think it was alluded to that he did do that. I'm just saying the idea of going back into the Matrix in general, after seeing that two-parter, it doesn't seem like it's actually a bad deal.
Yeah.
But my problem...
The whole idea of being able to, once you learn, the idea of once you learn the truth, can you really forget it, no matter how hard you try?
Yeah, no, they'll kill you. But what I'm saying is, though, is that it just was the saddest to me, because at least with the runner, yes, it's like, oh, he can't walk again, but I think he'll probably be able to within the next 5 years. Like, there was this idea of, like, if he can get up and float like that, I think he'll be walking just fine. In fact, I bet he'll be fucking flying, and they'll be like, this is not good, actually.
If the machines don't kill him first.
I don't think they're going to kill him. Like, I think they're watching him, and frankly, he seems like someone that will be recruited into, into some kind of team. Like, he seems like someone who, if he's that close to waking up just by running, I think he's on Trinity's radar.
I mean,
because it seems
also,
I don't think they want to kill people willy-nilly, because then that also breaks the illusion to people. Like, why are these dudes in suits just shooting people?
I don't know if anyone actually remembers any of that or actually sees any of that.
They don't remember. I don't think they remember it if they become you. However, again, I don't know what happens to you in the pod. But still, I don't know, like, if you'd remember if they became you for obvious reasons. But you can see them, though, walking around. It's just that we've never had to deal with that because we've always been in some big fight scenario or something like that. I mean, remember that woman who saw Neo fighting the Smith, or specifically Smith, and she was like, oh my goodness, and then became Smith. And I was like, oh, okay.
Right, yeah.
And I was like, all right, that's fair. I was like, yeah, it's like, how do we erase her memory? By not having a memory to erase. My goodness, I'm hilarious. But
they just
laughing at his own jokes. Yeah. But I have to say, you are the most attractive man. Do not even finish that sentence. I know where it's going, and I feel the same way about you. But anyway, so I don't know where that was going.
Awakened something in us.
Yeah, right.
And Neo's just like, wait, how are you feeling that? That's kind of intrinsically human, although maybe not the best thing for a human to feel either, but definitely confusing for a machine to feel. Are you so
all I know is Neo is just like, look, as long as all of you just do that by yourselves, not in public, by yourselves, just stop fighting all of us, just do that elsewhere. Cool. Goodbye. Like, I'm gone. But anyway.
We might have been able to have that once, Mr. Anderson, but no more. No, we must destroy you. At one point, yes, maybe we would have settled for that.
Look, guys, just, I don't know. I'm leaving. Just flies away. But anyway, what I'm trying to get at, though, what I'm trying to get at here, though, is I think that was the saddest, that program, that short story, because she literally thought she was killing him, and then wakes up and it's like, hey, don't worry, just a training exercise. You're totally good. And it's like, dude, I would have punched him harder.
Yeah.
Because, like, there's a difference between, oh, I've chosen to be in this training exercise. Like in the first story, clearly those two chose to be in that training exercise.
Right.
Although apparently they put on the sexiness Put on the sexy tab.
Oh God, yeah.
You know, okay, so at first I wasn't okay with any of that because I was like, what the fuck are you doing? But then when they cut open his shirt and then she takes a peek at him, I'm like, oh, okay. To me that's fair, especially because like I know some people try to say no, you're focusing on his power more than his looks, but in my opinion, it was the look of it, not just the power.
Right.
Like it's the fact that quote unquote abs look good. Not so much. Yeah. The one thing I'll say, though, is it is a little odd that we didn't get to see a shot of his crotch when we get to see a shot of both her ass and her crotch.
Yeah. Yeah, that was the only
for
thing.
Me,
I was like, they almost had it perfect. Because, I mean, in my book, for me, it's like, if it's both, then okay. That's fine.
Mm-hmm.
It's
still,
I mean, a little odd on screen, but like, hey, you made it even. Good job.
And also, they were in a relationship in that canon.
Yeah, right. True.
Yeah, so that's why they're messing with each other. Very odd. My God, the exact same situation, but with all of them running in like, yo, Morpheus and Neo are fighting. They run in. What the fuck is this? Why is Neo in a thong? Why is Morpheus not? Thanks, Cypher.
Oh man.
But anyway, so but I have to say though, the animation in that one, even though now it seems very like old-fashioned compared to what 3D animation is now, it was still cutting edge at the time, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, right.
Like that came out in like what, 2003?
Something like that. Yeah. It's funny.
Yeah,
it was,
at the time.
USA. The animation.
Really?
Oh
right,
yeah.
and they created Final Fantasy: The Spirit Within.
Yeah, I believe so.
Mhm. Which makes sense as to why the animation looks that good. I wasn't interested in animation like that though. I think more so because even to this day, I'm still a bigger fan of 2D. Unless it's some kind of like CG that you have to blend in, like with the Hulk or something like that, into like live action. I'm just a bigger fan of 2D.
Right.
You know, so and I know you are pretty much as well. Like it's not like we're sitting there like I will not watch anime that's in 3D. Like no, we get it, but still I prefer 2D. So for me, even at the time with Final Fantasy Spirit Within and with that part of the AniMatrix, I was like, I don't know. But it still is really good, to be fair. Like, it looks really good, especially for its time.
Yeah.
But yeah, so...
and another big one.
So, like, it was...
just talking about, like, animation-wise, Madhouse did a world record, and I believe... Was it Kid's Story? I think they did one more. Or was it No.
It makes sense that they did world record.
The second Renaissance.
Okay, and it makes sense that they did world record, which that's the one with the runner, because it makes sense that they did that with him.
Sorry, Madhouse program.
I'm sorry, what was that?
Record. Madhouse was program and world record.
Okay, and so it makes sense with world record because it's a similar style that they've done. I mean, again, very exaggerated in some ways, but it does seem... It seems Madhouse. It's hard to explain unless, you know, some people like have seen Madhouse stuff. It's like, oh yeah, that is Madhouse.
Right. And then another decently big Studio 4 Degrees Celsius.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of their work.
Did Beyond, and I believe they were also they did Detective Story.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
What else have they done?
I just had it up. They did.
Okay, yeah.
Not a lot of big titles, but enough that it's Batman Gotham Knight in 2000.
Thank you. Gotham Knight. Gotham Knight is the one I was talking about.
Right. Princess Arietti. That was 2001.
Hey, Arietti. But
yeah,
as you're looking
they've done a few things here and there. Because I was looking at a lot of the animation styles, and I'm like, I feel like these are familiar. And I tried to look in to see if I could find a few things. I'm like, do I know them from this or this? Yeah, stuff like that.
Yeah, 4 Degrees Celsius, I haven't heard their name in a while, but they really remind me of just like what anime used to look like, I guess. I'm not saying they still don't do work now. I'm sure they do. But I'm just saying that like when I see what?
They did Transformers animated 2008 and Thundercats 2011.
Oh, they did Thundercats.
Yeah.
Mhm. That makes sense. So you mentioned earlier your 2 favorite stories, which were both the cool hard-boiled detective as well as the haunted house. I also feel the same, and I really don't know which one is the best because, again, they both followed one another, and I was like, this haunted house one, this is the best. And then that story followed, and I was like, damn all of you.
Right. And detective story really got to me, too, because Ash, the detective, he's voiced by James Arnold Taylor, who also does the English voice for Tidus from Final Fantasy X. So as soon as I heard that, I'm like, this is a combination I never thought I'd see. A Cowboy Bebop-esque animated story with a character from a Final Fantasy game. That's the voice.
Yeah, that is interesting. I'll say that much. I haven't played that game, but I do have it in my collection, so I should probably bust it out. Not sure if I would play it on Those Guys Play or just play it on my spare time, but I do want to check it out because I have the game. So I'm like, I should probably play that. Or I played that for like 5 minutes, but there were too many cutscenes, I think. Are there too many cutscenes?
It was,
okay.
I mean, there are, okay. I mean, it was my first and my favorite, so I like it.
But are there a lot of cutscenes?
There are a lot of cutscenes, yeah.
Okay. No, that's fine, because I think that's what it was. Like, there were so many cutscenes, but at the time I was like, I got to play. I played for like 5 minutes, and I'm just like, and then I was hit with more cutscenes, and I was like, okay, guys, cool. And I might have not picked it up again. I would now, but still, too many cutscenes do kill a game for me, a little bit. Like when we did, when you and I did, when you and I did Dark Moon, Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon for last year's Halloween special.
Right.
That killed me. I was like, I want to play a game, please. Please let me play. But anyway, so yeah, I think those two might have been my top 2 favorites. Again, putting the origin aside because it's really hard to judge that one because that's the origin of everything.
Right.
Yeah, one thing I want to say though is it's very hard to use the last story to kind of have it follow up after this cool hard-boiled detective dies while all of us are desperately wanting him to be saved and taken out of the Matrix, and he has to get shot by Trinity. And then after all that, it's just like, hey, look at this. And I'm like, it was really hard to transition. I didn't dislike, I'm not saying I disliked the story because of that, but it definitely was very hard to transition from one to another. I don't know where else you could have put it. You know, I know you're not going to make it the last story for obvious reasons. You're not going to make it the first because then the rest of this, it's depressing. But it was still an odd piece because when you do something that depressing, it's very odd to be like, and let's continue.
Right.
I mean, I know you don't watch too much pro wrestling, Tristan, but like imagine something big happening at like a WrestleMania or at some kind of pay-per-view, something big, but it kind of deflates the audience, like, like the good guy lost or something like that. Something big, like a good guy that everyone actually loves, right, loses, or like there's a streak that gets broken, and it's not the main event.
Right.
And it's like, we have to continue. Yeah, the main event's up next. All right, but that was really depressing as shit. That guy's streak was like, yeah, it was like a 22-year-long streak at every WrestleMania, and you're like, did he really just lose this one though? Did he really? He just really lost, and now we have to keep on going.
All of them were pretty downbeat. I mean, except for Kid's Story and Beyond, like those were like. The kid gets saved in Kid's Story, and then Beyond, it was just fixing a program, so it's kind of neutral. They're still in the Matrix, but, like, no one had to die.
Here's the thing, though.
At least, everyone dies. With the last one,
but here's
the machine gets away, I guess, but...
Hear me out. With the first one, they're already out of the Matrix, so in my opinion, I know it might sound dumb, I just take it as it comes with the territory.
That's true.
Also, you and I know we cannot include the backstory, because that was going to be depressing no matter where you put it.
Right, yeah.
So I think it was just also, to me, the PI one felt really short. So it felt just really like, oh, wow, this guy seems cool, just trying to do his job. And apparently he did it well because he found Trinity. Granted, she wanted him to find her, but still. Right. And it's like, he finds Trinity. We think he's going to be okay. Nah, just kidding. Yeah. An agent's trying to take over his body. Something that I think you and I did not think could happen to someone you were trying to save.
Yeah.
Because it's like, why? Because, wouldn't it have happened to Neo?
Right, yeah.
I mean, yes,
well,
technically.
That just pairs it then. Apparently, if you want to be saved, make sure Neo's the one saving you, because if it's anyone else, you will die. Doesn't matter how.
Well, Trinity's not saving you now because you said that shit about her.
No, I don't believe that of Trinity. I'm just making the making the observation. Apparently,
but who saved
the only
Neo?
one with the super god powers that can do this shit.
Well, but who saved Neo, Tristan?
I mean...
Trinity. I rest my case.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
no,
she was the one that was actually in there, because Morpheus was just guiding him on the phone for a bit, and then she picks it up. You're right, yeah.
Yeah, no, I love it. Just, I call on the phone, but I don't really show up in person. That's okay, right? Trinity's like, yeah, sure.
Oh, my God. Yeah, I guess I'll just do the dirty work again. I'm sensing some hostility here, Trinity. Is there something you'd like to talk to me about?
Go fucking yourself.
Yeah.
I will take that I will take that into account.
I will take it under consideration.
It sounds like something he would say.
Oh my God. He's like, she's just like, no, you won't. You never do.
I never go fuck myself. Oh, you get the hell out of here. Just hitting her with that sass. But anyway, yeah, I'm not saying that all of these stories were, the happiest-go-lucky stories, but still, it felt very, I don't know, because I thought that the story with the high schooler was going to be the most depressing, because, he fucking kills himself.
Right.
You would think that would be the saddest, but then he lives. And I was like, oh. Right? So I feel like in some of these, even though, that's the thing with some of these, Tristan, even though it's like everybody died, there's hope.
Right.
So in the last story, yes, they all died, but the machine that was turned good lives, and that machine could technically in the future turn more machines if it tries to learn how to use the program, stuff like that. So the machine lived.
Right.
Yeah, it can turn other machines good, right? That's amazing. The first one, they technically got the message out to Niobe and Ghost. The kid died, but also lived. Yeah. Yes,
so,
of course, what?
It's basically the equivalent. It's the equivalent of Rogue One.
Basically, all roads lead to Star Wars for Tristan. That's his El Dorado. But anyway,
nothing you just said is technically wrong. So
everything that just let me explain to you why everything that just came out of your mouth was right. But still looking at, and of course, again, we're not counting the origin because that was meant to be depressing as fuck. But a lot of these still comes out with a certain hope of it's going to be okay for X, Y, or Z. With the hard-boiled detective, with Ash, literally he's sitting there with a gun pointed against two agents. Even if he shoots them both in the head, let's pretend. That's the best-case scenario. Yeah, there's more. There's always more. There are machines in the system. He's going to die from a gunshot wound. Merry fucking Christmas. That's a sad thing. There's nothing hopeful about that one. That one was just depressing as fuck.
I mean, shit. I feel like Trinity stopped him from getting taken over by being shot, which I guess the agent then just jumped out of the body because he knew it was going to die. But
or it couldn't take it over or something like that.
Yeah,
whichever one.
Why didn't she just shoot him in the head? Like, that would have been instant kill. I feel like that might have been more mercy.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, maybe she wanted to talk to him. I don't know.
I guess.
I mean, thematically, it made sense to talk to him. I mean, it made a really kick-ass screenshot and everything. But yeah, you're right. Like in terms of the story, probably should have shot him in the head. That's just rude not to.
I'm just going to let you bleed out now or be captured.
But I would like to let you know. Yeah. What's really funny is she goes, I think you would have been okay with the truth. You could just tell me now. No, if I tell you, then the machines will know. Wait, they don't already know? I mean, like, I gotta go.
Look, you're bleeding out. I need to get out of here.
No, but it's just so funny. Like, she doesn't have to tell him about Zion. All she has to say is straight up just like, hey, this is not real. None of this is real. You're going to die anyway. When you die, just know that none of this is real. You mean like there's a heaven after this? Oh, no. Nothing. Nothing like that at all. No.
Nothing like that.
You know the concept of hell, though, because of heaven. I do. Yeah, it's definitely like that.
It's more like that. Oh,
yeah.
Oh, God. Yeah, so, fun with that. Why? Why?
You like swimming? Yeah? Then you're going to love the outside world.
Oh, sorry. Do you like breathing, too? Yes? Ooh. Okay, maybe not so much liking it.
Are you a fan of, like, piercings? Just, like, things in your skin? No.
I mean, I never really thought about it. You might want to.
You wouldn't have worked out. You wouldn't have worked out. Never mind.
Oh, my God.
But no, yeah, I think, to me, that one's the most depressing. Because even with the simulation, I thought that was the most depressing. But, again, it was a simulation. So,
yeah,
it wasn't real. But, fucking, I mean, my God, just, you're dead, dude. And guess what? There's going to be another PI. It's going to be like 4 other PIs before me have been in some shit trying to look for this Trinity. Like, I don't know. But to me, that one did not seem hopeful. Because, again, like, what's the hope? Like, he was shot. He's bleeding out. What are they going to do, let him live? Like, oh, he's bleeding out. He's fine. Just let's get him some medical attention. Right. But yeah, so, well, the funniest thing from that, did you notice there was a little bit of an animation error, but it still was the funniest thing in the world regardless. So the one, like the 2 people sitting next to each other on the train, they were a couple.
Right.
So and they, of course, they get taken over by Smiths or by agents. What's really funny is that when they shoot back, like when they cut back to them, one of them has their head on the other one's shoulder as if like they were a couple where one was like a woman with her head on the shoulder.
Right.
So they were trying to cut to like, oh, they were a couple sitting there, like maybe one was asleep, and then just transforms into just the agents as if it's like, we were cuddling just there. That felt nice. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, but the problem is that the reason why I say it's an animation error, the first time that they actually transformed into agents, the woman or whoever it was wasn't actually laying on their partner's shoulder.
Right.
But they were when they cut back. So it felt as if they weren't laying on the shoulder when they transformed, but they then cuddled up afterwards.
Right.
When you go back and look at it, it's really funny. But, like, it seems like a gag that they wanted to put in, but they forgot to animate it a certain way the first time.
Yeah.
Anyway, but yeah, so is there anything else you want to say about these? Because I feel like there's not really much we can kind of delve into since they're all, like, little shorts. I mean, I know you liked, and also I did as well, that Phil Lamar voiced over the samurai in the simulation.
Yeah. I was going to say
that,
too.
Was...
And it made me laugh so hard because, I mean, I love Phil Lamar from Samurai Jack. and just seeing him play another person. It's a simulation, but he's a samurai. Oh, God, it made me laugh so hard. And I didn't really realize it.
When did it come out again? When did Samurai Jack come out again?
Like 2000... It was either 3 or 1, somewhere in there. Early 2000s. I forget
So
exactly
then
what year.
I have a strange feeling the Wachowskis were like, ha 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 ha.
Either that or he did this first, and then Tartakovsky was like, I like that guy.
Both are super fucking plausible. No, he did Jack first.
Okay.
Jack was in 2001. This movie did not come out in 2001.
Oh, okay, yeah. You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that might have been a joke with them then.
I mean, it feels like it's a joke. Like, let's cast him as another samurai, shall we? It has to be a fucking joke.
I feel like the Wachowskis would have definitely watched Samurai Jack.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, so 4 of the shorts were written by the Wachowskis. So as we're kind of wrapping this up, let's actually credit, because I know you credited some people, but let's credit the right people. Like, let me credit the right people. Final Flight of the Osiris, which is the first short, was written by the Wachowskis and directed by Andy Jones, and you mentioned the CG animation by Square Pictures. Then the first and second part of the second Renaissance is what they called it, which was the big backstory. It was a 2-part film directed by Mahito Maeda, and he used bits and pieces of information. That's what it's listed as, literally, written by the Wachowskis as a prequel to the series. And the production, it was animated by, like we said earlier, Studio 4 Degrees Celsius, and that's both parts, of course. Then Kid Story was also written by Shinichi no Watanabe, but again based on a story by the Wachowskis, and also animated by Studio 4 Degrees Celsius. And the animation was the production. This is strange. The production design was by Studio 4 Degrees Celsius. However, the animations were by Shinya Ohira and Shinji Hashimoto. Program was after that, and Program was written and directed by Yoshiaki Kawajiri, and produced by Madhouse. And the character designs were done by Yutaka Minoa. But let's go down here. World Record, another one by Madhouse, and directed by Takeshi Koike, with a screenplay by Yoshiaki Kawajiri. And we go to Beyond, which was Koji Morimoto, and produced by Studio 4.5 Degrees, or 4 Degrees Celsius, rather. And then Detective Story, we mentioned earlier, Shinichiro Watanabe. And with animation by Kazuto Nakazawa, and then Matriculated, which is the last one, written and directed by Peter Chung, and like I said to you earlier, I don't think I said this on the actual podcast, though, widely known for his work on Aeon Flux, and it was produced by DNA Productions. So those are all the credits, and apparently the Wachowskis, so here's the funny thing, development on the project began, right, on AniMatrix, began when the Wachowskis were in Japan promoting the first Matrix film. So they were there. They literally visited some of the creators of the anime films that influenced their work.
Right.
And somehow came about a collaboration from that. So literally it would be like going to Japan based on us promoting something. You being like, wow, I would love to visit Toriyama. And all of a sudden, Toriyama's just like, we should work on something.
Yeah.
You would die. Your heart would stop, and it would be really awkward, because why is there blood in your erection? You would just have both going on at the same time. It's just like, Tristan, are you okay? Is that why he died? Was there no blood in the heart? I'm confused.
Oh, my God. Yeah.
But no, but seriously. What?
No, I was thinking Shinji Hashimoto has actually been in a lot of big stuff, too. Some of the stuff we've done, Akira.
Well, shit.
Yeah, done a lot of work with different Naruto movies. Ghost in the Shell.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was trying to look up some of the different animators, Samurai Champloo, to see, other things that they had done. Like I said before, some of the animation, I'm like, that feels oddly familiar.
Right, yes. And also the soundtrack, which we shouldn't forget, because that was fun. It didn't really stick out to me, but it was still fun, you know. It really did add to the scene, add to the whole shebang. So apparently the soundtrack was composed by Don Davis, Machine Head, and Photech, if that means anything to anyone out there. And also several electronic music artists also were featured on the soundtrack, including Juno Reactor and Adam Freeland. Again, if that means anything to anyone out there, awesome. But, here's something odd. The kid that played the kid in the movie, the second movie, that kid, he also played him in this short as well. So he also reprised his role.
Oh, well, there you go.
No. But it feels like a No Man Left Behind thing, where it's like we got Keanu Reeves, we got Carrie-Anne Moss. Did we get Clayton Watson? Right. He was the kid, wasn't he? We're getting Clayton. Don't leave Clayton behind. # don't leave Clayton.
Oh my God.
I'm sorry. This was released in 2003. Pound symbol. Pound sign. Wasn't a hashtag yet. It wasn't the hashtag yet, Tristan.
I know. Oh,
we can never forget our history. We forget our history, Tristan. The machines win.
Oh my God.
But yeah, so I don't know what else to say about this. Is there anything else you want to contribute? Anything you want to add to the podcast? Because I really think there's not much else we can say other than this was a lot better than I thought it was going to be. I was a stupid little kid, and frankly, did it meet your expectations, or did you think this was better than you thought it was going to be? Because it doesn't seem like it's going to be good. Anytime I hear, this is an animated something based off of like a movie or a TV show, never have I heard, and it was amazing.
That's true. I kind of have that ingrained in me as well. So I was kind of like, all right, it's probably going to be like, it'll probably be interesting, but it might not be that great. And then I didn't realize, and maybe you had said it to me earlier, but I didn't remember when I saw it was like different shorts, and it was like just a bunch of different stories thrown in, and it was all different animation styles. Like, I really got into this. It was a lot of fun too. And like I said before, it really felt like it helped flesh out the world of the Matrix. So yeah, I really enjoyed this. It definitely blew my expectations.
Yeah, I don't want to overhype anyone in case like they become so overhyped and they see it and they're like, it wasn't the way those guys described it. First of all, thank you for listening to this. Holy shit. It wasn't how those guys described it. So I want to mention, I'm not going to overhype it, but I definitely think that a lot of us, really do come into this mindset of, it's an animated film based off of, and they're shorts. But really, like you said, Tristan, it adds on to this world. It builds this entire universe around the Matrix. I think the only thing that does seem frustrating is that I feel as if we're not going to get anything like not all of these need to be expanded upon. Again, technically some of them were via the game, or that's the same kid from the second movie, and I'm sure he's in the third one as well. So I have no problem being like, yeah, those stay there. And again, that one place was in Japan was sealed up. So there's not going to, we're not going to need to see that place ever again. But I have to admit, man, that last story, it's kind of like, that's something big. Are we just going to leave that there? So, yeah, I feel like most of this was great world building, but that last one added in so many more questions. So many more questions, Tristan.
Yeah.
I was like, hello? Because even with that guy, who ran in world record, I would love to see more of him, but I kind of understand. Like, hey, listen, again, some people, we talk about this, the idea of like the human spirit and how it can, people can do crazy things. Again, if you apply that to the Matrix, it's literally like the code says that this car is way too large for you to pick up. Oh, God, your baby? And then picks up the car. And there's like agents around, like, did she just fucking pick up the car for her kid? God damn it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so in situations like that, yes, you can see how it works in the same way that it did for him. So I'm not saying we have to like go see every single mom who picked up a car and sees what happened afterwards. Is she going to constantly pick up cars? Like, no. But still, that last story, man, just something so different that I was just like, I really do wonder what would be, what would be next after that. So that's the only one that I'm like, it does suck that we kind of ended here. But I think it expanded, but it really closed that loop. so well. Didn't try to, it didn't make me sit there and go, darn it, not that I needed, it's not a bad thing that it didn't make me want more. It's a good thing in a way. Oh, you told a complete story. That's good. No questions, nothing major, to me anyway, nothing screaming at me but why? No, just you closed it all and it's great. So.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, I will admit though, the Machine two-parter, the whole the backstory, that one gave me some questions, I guess. Probably why people were so stupid, but then again, it felt real. So in a way, I understood. I don't like it, but I looked at it and I said, humanity would do that. But
yeah.
But yeah,
well, yeah,
that's the saddest thing, right?
That reflection of it's the worst of humanity. It's humanity's worst reaction to, machines want to have a sovereign state on our planet. How dare they? But yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, so yeah, I don't think there's anything else we can say about this, unless there's anything else you want to chime in on before we wrap things up.
I think that was about it. Yeah.
All right. So thank you all so much for listening in. Want to mention before you head out, don't click off just yet. Don't click X just yet, because I want to mention to you that hopefully you're listening to this podcast through our our main podcast distributor, blogtalkradio.com/thoseguysonthe-radio, or you could be listening to us through our YouTube channel, which is Those Guys on the Radio. You search that up and you can find us there, or maybe you searched up Those Guys on iTunes and you found us there. Either way, you can download us through iTunes. You can download all of us. It's just us. It's just we will be in your home. We will be coming out of your iPod. You can download us through iTunes. You can also download us through, you can technically download us through YouTube, I guess. If you use YouTube Red and anything like that, you can download us through YouTube. And, you can watch some of our stuff there, and also check us out again on blogtalkradio.com as well. Also, you can check out our Let's Plays and other cool gaming content over at Those Guys Play. I mentioned that a little bit earlier. Tristan and I have done a lot of different things on Those Guys Play. We've beaten Luigi's Mansion. We've also played Dark Moon as well. We've played a bunch of different Dragon Ball Z games. Also, we recently played on Those Guys Play Season 4, Godzilla Destroy All Monsters Melee for the Nintendo GameCube, and on an episode of Super Sleepover, we beat each other up really hard while playing Dragon Ball Z Budokai on the Nintendo GameCube. Who won? You have to check out the episode to find out. But, maybe it was me. You jerk. Huh? You think you're big? He's been so quiet and nice. You think you're a tough guy? Huh? Being quiet? Being stoic? Huh?
Yes.
I don't know.
That's my character.
Yes. Yes. It's your character. Is it on your character sheet? Did you roll for non-initiative?
Hey, well,
I know D&D
with
things.
how you freaking, it's fun. How did you make the D&D joke before I did? I was gonna make one. And I'm like, nah, he's not gonna get that, and I didn't.
I know things that I shouldn't. I am breaking out of the Matrix.
Yes,
anyway,
you
so
do, Mr. Morero.
Oh shit. Anyway, so speaking of things that might make you say oh shit, checking out our really cool content, not just on Those Guys Play, but also checking out our stuff on TG Productions as well. Going to our social media accounts to follow all of our different releases. We have daily releases of pretty much all of our different channels. We even have Keikaku Corner, a show that Tristan and I do as a podcast on our YouTube channel, Those Guys on the Radio, where we talk about different anime, tokusatsu, and manga, and even video game news, where we post one clip per day. So you can check that out as well. But again, if you want to know where to get all that stuff, you should totally subscribe and like the video and stuff like that. But if you still want to find out where to get all that stuff, you can actually check that out by going to our Facebook, facebook.com/ThoseGuysOnTheRadio, or tweet us, or just in general, just tweet us or just follow us at @ThoseGuysRadio. And you can also check out our main website, tgproduction.net, which is also where our merchandise is, tgproduction.net/merchandise. You can get some really cool t-shirts and a bunch of other stuff as well, just like on our eBay, ebay.com/USR/ThoseGuysRadio. I'm selling some stuff out of my personal collection that you guys can totally take a look at, and also would love to mention our Patreon, patreon.com/TGProductions. If you want to get anything from us, Literally anything. You can ask us anything, but if you want it to be a hard, steadfast thing, like, hey, you should do this topic on Keikaku Corner. Hey, you should do this topic for a podcast, like a top 5 Dragon Ball Z fights or top 5 anime, something like that, top 5 Godzilla fights, top 5 Godzilla movies, anything, or just reviewing one Godzilla movie or something like that, or any kind of movie or TV show, something like that. You can totally go to our Patreon. Depending on what tier you give to, you can basically say, you guys do this. Mix and match all the different hosts you want, even for Let's Plays as well, even for game reviews. If you want to do some game reviews on the channel, or even Tristan to do some Star Wars reviews, anything like that, you could actually give to our Patreon, and we'll give right back to you. So patreon.com/TG Productions. Thank you all so much. Love you guys. Take care, and hope you had a good night. Hope you enjoyed the podcast, and hope you tune in next time for another Anna Saturday. All right, guys, so you're still with us, Tristan?
Of course, I'm always here. It's time to dial out. Send us back to the base.
Of course. I'd love to. That's not suspicious whatso-fucking-ever.